Welcome to Malcom Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcom and Rachelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcom Reed, joined by my lovely wife, Miss Southern Shell. Shell, how you doing this week?
Good.
You fresh off vacation?
Yes.
We had a long vacation. It seemed long. But we had a good time. We recharged. It's still hot as crap out here in Mississippi, so we haven't filmed a video. I did do a little cooking last night.
We were going to talk about that. I thought we'd talk about our vacation first.
Yeah. Well, do you want to recap what we did on vacation?
Sure. First,
what was our first
at the last minute, we decided we were going to leave early because we had a condo booked starting Monday. Mm-hmm. Or Tuesday.
In Florida, we went down we had some friends going down, and they had some kids, so we wanted to take Michael so he could have some people to hang out with.
Mm-hmm. That was pretty much the decision.
But we wanted to do a private, something fun for us, and take him to do some. So we went down to New Orleans.
Yeah. Last minute, we said, let's leave early, go to New Orleans, split the trip up halfway.
I'm glad we did because now they're flooding, and I feel sorry for all those people down there because I've been seeing on Facebook, man, people have been putting. And on the news, man, the quarter was underwater. I guess I'm hearing some of the pumps are out in the city. They've got that, it's a tropical depression stirring up, blowing in, but they're already at, the levees were at max because of all the flooding we've been having. And man, it's terrible.
It's going to be a bad
It was beautiful when we were there.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect. There was no rain.
It wasn't too hot.
It was crowded.
Yeah.
But we had a good time.
It wasn't too hot.
So prayers out to those folks.
Yeah.
But
we got there on Friday evening. We did a haunted carriage ride, which is awesome.
You got to do that in New Orleans,
man.
You got to tour the quarter.
It's
our second time to do that, but it's different every time. I mean, they take you kind of around the same routes, but
your tour director has different stories our tour director this time had different stories than the one last time. So it was interesting,
Yeah, and it starts at night, so you kind of hang out, drink some daiquiris or whatever your poison is while you're in the quarter, and then you get on this carriage, and they're all like pulled by mules, and I think what can they take, about 6 to 8 people, something like that. It's not super crowded or anything.
Yeah,
but it's really, I mean, you go through the quarter at night. And you pull up to all these old historic places, and they have a story about each one. It's not really haunted. I mean, they're.
I don't know. I don't say that.
I think it is. You think it is?
Just the clickety clack of the mule, on the cobblestones is. I enjoy it.
I enjoy the people watching when you do it because there's people everywhere down there, and those mules kind of know where they're going.
Yeah.
Like, they're not doing much. I guess they know the routes. They're really smart. But they know where to stop, and then, when to pull over and when to turn around, when to take a left, when to take a right. That impressed me. Because the ladies turned around talking the whole time. We just got this mule trotting along.
We went to the Bourbon House on Bourbon.
Oh, man. If you had never been there, that's a great place to go eat. Because they have the plateaus. And it's like, the seafood tower. Well, all right, we didn't really get the tower. We kind of got the medium-sized one.
Yeah, it's a plate.
But it has raw oysters. It has, some of them have caviar on them, which was awesome. And then they had like crab claws and what else was on there?
Those are the best crab claws I've ever had. I'm usually not a big fan of it. The shrimp were okay.
What else was
something
on
else?
There's like a seafood shrimp salad.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And it's like all really fresh seafood. So when we got to New Orleans to go out to eat. Mm-hmm. It is really a foodie city. There's so many good restaurants down there. Man, when I think of New Orleans, I think of seafood.
Yeah.
That's what I go for.
Oysters.
Yeah. Raw oysters. And even this time of year, they say don't eat raw oysters in months that don't have an R. Man, I trust them down there. I've never been oyster sick yet. Knock on some wood or whatever. I love them.
Then the next day we got on a riverboat.
The Natchez Steamboat. It was actually one of only 2 steamboats still in operation in the United States, is what the captain said.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And it's a huge boat, man. There was probably
hundreds of people.
Yeah, I was going to say 300 or 400.
Yeah, it was
Easy.
huge. They did a buffet lunch. We didn't do that.
Yeah, we just rode and looked.
Yeah,
because awesome. I guess you could pay to go in and eat. It looked like I went in there to use the restroom. It didn't look too appetizing, but
hey, yeah. And you can
imagine
New Orleans, don't.
Yeah, don't go for the buffet lunches at places. Go to go to somewhere off the beaten path.
And then Sunday we woke up and went to Destin.
Yep, Destin, Florida. Drove over, went across through Mobile.
Tell me why we picked the hotel we picked.
So there was a hotel over there. It used to be called the Ramada. It was on the beach in Fort Walton. I guess it's actually Fort Walton Beach before you get to Destin. And my mom and dad took me and Waylon there when we were probably Michael's age, like 9 and 10 years old. And I remember that being the coolest hotel because they had this huge island grotto in the middle of the swimming pool that kind of surrounds it. And it's a deep pool. I mean, it goes from like 12 foot all the way to 3 foot, It's got these waterfalls coming off the edge. You go through it and it's got like a swim up bar and it's got a hot tub out there. It was just the coolest thing when I was a kid. It's right on the beach, so you can go out the backside of the condo. I guess what do you call it? Is it a condo or hotel?
It's more hotel-y.
Yeah, I guess it's more hotel-y, but they do have condo style rooms because the room we were in was like a little kitchenette, 2-bedroom deal. But it's right on the beach. They had a little beach bar out there with a guy playing music at night, and there's restaurants all beside it. And so I wanted to take Michael there and see what it was like.
30 years later.
30 years later, yeah. And I looked it up and I found the property, but it had changed hands, and now it's actually called the Island. And I'm not saying it's the nicest place because they hadn't changed it a whole lot. It was just like I remembered it. I mean, they might have put some paint on and everything else was the same.
It was dated.
It was very dated.
But we had a blast.
But the pool was awesome. So we spent a day there and let Michael swim in the pool, and we went in the pool bar and had some cocktails.
Yeah, it was fun.
Man, they had a cannonball contest, a belly flop contest. The kids were loving it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too crowded. I didn't think I wasn't uncomfortable. So that part was fun. We didn't get in the ocean there because we knew we were going.
We showed up that afternoon, swam in the pool, went out to dinner.
Next night.
Right next door. And then the next morning we woke up and went to Panama City.
And then we hung out there for a week.
Yeah.
Went deep sea fishing. It's the wrong time of year to go to Panama City. I ain't gonna lie. Do not go. The highlight of the trip. Now, we did deep sea fishing was fun. We spent a day doing that. We rented a pontoon boat one day.
I was sick as a dog when we were deep sea
fishing.
Who
knew that you do not have sea legs?
I do not. The whole time I was sitting there.
Head over the side of the boat.
If you've ever been seasick, I've never been seasick before. We've done a cruise before. I've done plenty of lake boats, and I've done a few ocean boats. Yeah. I had no idea, but being seasick is about like having the worst virus ever.
Really?
It's bad.
I felt bad.
You're just constantly sick. You have that constant sick feeling, and you're just puking every couple minutes. And
it didn't bother me at all. It got bad. You and the kids. When the kids bounced back, of course they was eating Dramamine. I didn't take anything, but I took Michelob Ultra. Maybe that's what kept me equal.
I had an empty stomach and I drank a big cup of coffee, and that's what I thought was my problem until I started actually
got out there and they're playing Deadliest Catch.
It was bad, but you and Michael had a blast, and everybody
we
else
caught a limited fish. We read snapper, and we caught some grouper and a trigger fish or two. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
What'd you bring back? Because we brought fish back, right?
Yeah, we pretty much halved them with the other couple. We were there and brought back a cooler full of snapper and some grouper.
What's your plans?
It's hard. I just like to keep it seasoned simple and throw it on the grill. Makes excellent fish tacos or blackened fish, and that's probably what I'm gonna do with it. I don't fry that kind of fish. For me, it's more for grilling or blackening in a cast iron skillet or something like that. So I'll probably do a recipe with some of it.
That'd be good.
And if this storm isn't too bad this week, I'm going back down to Orange Beach next weekend. We're going out fishing again for some snapper before the season's over.
That's kind of a guy's trip.
Yeah, I don't know what this storm's going to do to it though, because it could knock us out of fishing. I hope it don't. But.
If you are looking for a condo in the Panama City area, I would highly recommend the Summit.
Do not. Don't send anybody there.
It was bad.
Yeah.
We didn't know. It was so many people. It was so crowded.
It's pretty much like if you like hanging out in like Walmart parking lot with jammed on Black Friday, where everybody's there camping out to try to get in there and get some sales.
Waffle House at 4 a.m.
It was packed. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, they had 2 pools and hot tubs, but you didn't want to get. Man, there were so many people in those pools. I didn't want to be in that water.
They shut down one of the pools.
The beach was okay. The beach, the ocean was nice there.
Yeah.
There was like one day had like I don't even know. Do we have some red flag? No, it was a yellow flag the whole time. But one day there was some decent, waves actually breaking. But the rest of the time it got smooth there, and you could just float.
They were having a party out there, though.
Oh, the wobble wobble is in effect still in Panama City. I mean, everybody was doing it. It's like the first time I ever heard it.
Every 10 minutes, somebody crank up.
Bust out the wobble
baby, wobble, baby. They get out there.
The whole beach.
From 10 to 100.
But the coolest, they had the best fireworks show I've ever seen in my life on the 4th. And it was, where we were staying was in between 2 big piers. Like, what's Pier Point or Pier Place or whatever it is like the bang where Margaritaville and all that stuff is. Comes out in the ocean, and then there's a state park down at the other end, and it goes way out. And both of them did fireworks shows, and we were kind of halfway between, so you could see, depending on which way you were looking up the beach, you could see both fireworks shows, but it seemed like every condo or every other condo in between was doing their own fireworks show, and people were just out on the beach. I guess people love fireworks down there, because, man, it was like, it was like a 3D effect.
Their own fireworks.
Yeah, but like, professional ones. Yeah. It wasn't like bottle rockets and Roman candles. This is some mortar shells. I mean, some of them were way too close. Like they'd just be blowing up right on you. I was like, I don't know if this is safe or not. One thing, I didn't see the first police officer in Panama City. We were there for 7 days. I didn't see not a cop one. I don't know where they are.
But
it was buck wild. I'm sure our kids got a little education there.
Oh. There was a strip club right across the.
What's it called? Show and Tell.
The Show and Tell Gentlemen's Club.
I kept threatening to go over there, but I didn't. It was right beside. If you've ever seen,
I would have loved for you to go to the Show and Tell. You'd come back with a whole different attitude.
Have you seen those Facebook videos where they strap the people into the slingshot things? They had one of those like right there in our parking lot. So you could go out there, and for $75, 2 people could get on that, and it'd blast you into orbit. I kept trying to talk the kids into doing that. They wouldn't do it.
This is the place to be spring break circa 1988.
Oh, yeah. And there was people who've been going ever since, I promise you. Riding the elevators was miserable. And you had to wait 3 or 4 times. They were so packed.
And every time air on the elevators.
Every time I got on one, there was like, man, this, we've been coming for 8 years. We've been coming for 12 years. This is, we love this place. I was like, wow.
Oh, inside the elevators, one of the elevators was there was plywood just inside the elevator.
It was protected. Keep it
was like.
It really was, I think. It wasn't because they were trying to keep it, under construction.
It was not the nicest
people putting
place.
Those big luggage carts in there, it bashes an elevator up.
We had a blast, though. We had a good time. We made the best of that situation. Yeah, we had no idea. We went blind. But
we know now.
We're glad to
Nothing
be back.
wrong with Panama City. It's a great place if you're under 30, probably.
There's some beautiful houses. I just think we picked the wrong spot.
The wrong date, too.
Yeah.
Don't go to the 4th of July.
We actually rented a boat another day and went out in the bay and found a little private island. Shell Island. There was a bunch of other people docked up there. We had a great time that day.
Beached up. You could walk right across and be on the Gulf side. So that was cool. And the water was nice there, too.
Yeah, that was great.
There was actually shells. There wasn't any shells on the beach we were at. Crabs were scared to come there. It's like, no thanks. I'll let y'all have that beach. You have a better time picking up beer tops than you would shells there. It was like, no, we was next door to Club La Vila, but it's not open now because I guess Hurricane Daniel came last October, and when it hit Mexico Beach, which is just east of there a little bit, I guess we were on the south side. They got a bunch of damage there too. So, and they're still recovering. They were still the place we were staying had some workers where guys had been there and still going over there and doing hurricane relief.
Yeah. Where we went and rented the pontoon boat, there was a lot of docks that were just completely demolished.
Twisted, yeah. You could tell it done some damage. They still hadn't got recovered from it. There were still, tarps on houses and stuff. I guess they're, you have to make the best of it. Especially this time of the year, they depend on tourists to come down there and spend money and keep the economy booming.
They were there. They were out full force.
Man, the Walmart. So, you go there and you can't go out to eat every day because it's just too packed.
Yeah, and it's a condo.
So, so we stopped and got some groceries. And man, the Walmart there is insane.
They were steadily stocking shelves.
They stock it 24 hours and they're out of just, your bread. They might not have bread. Every loaf gone or whatever. It was crazy. I couldn't believe how many people was there. I did end up going to Walmart twice, but
I didn't go the second time. Was it as busy the second time?
Oh, yeah. And we thought we were going to get up early and go, before the crowd. You're not beating the crowd there. The only thing is get in there and do it.
But they did have Natter Days, Natural Lights, no beer Natter Days for what? $14 $14
a case, yeah. Oh, down there, Walmart has its own liquor store, like out in the parking lot separate. That was the coolest store I went in Florida. They had everything.
They had a Crown Royal throne.
Yeah. I wanted that.
Where are you going to put that?
In the office.
Okay.
I'm going to put it in the podcast room over there in that corner. It looked great.
You can put it right there and sit in it.
It's a big purple throne. It was like made out of the same stuff a Crown Royal bag is. That kind of velvety purple.
It was pretty cool.
I think Julian has one of those.
That would not surprise me. So this weekend we're heading to Glasgow, Kentucky, to Rib Liquor's barbecue restaurant. Our friend Dwayne is doing a SCA contest up there. Right.
He's doing some ancillary too, but I'm not sure. I think it's a 1-bite challenge too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't sign up for that. I'm going to let Michael cook it.
Yeah.
We're taking him with us, and he wants to cook
Swine
steak.
Life is coming and cooking with us.
Waylon's going to meet us up there. He's driving up. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be hot, but it's going to be fun.
So we're going to last year we went.
So last year was the first time, and we went. And man, they hosted the best contest.
He won Organizer of the Year.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Because he does a great contest. It's so much fun. It's right there in his parking lot of his restaurant.
Appreciation thing the Friday night before, and had food and drinks, and his restaurant's cool. If you've ever been up there, it's not too far from Nashville if you're in that area, or Bowling Green, Kentucky.
And it's a barbecue restaurant, and they have good barbecue, but they have a stone pizza that is awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of looking forward to getting that
stone
pizza.
Goat. That's the best one he's got. I love that one. It's got the goat cheese and like arugula and some like prosciutto on it. It's really good with like a olive oil based sauce.
He has some good pizzas, like it's not just pepperoni. You know?
Yeah. But Dwayne's a good guy too. If you ever get a chance to get in that restaurant, stop in there and see him.
He's got it going on as far as a barbecue restaurant.
I bet you'll have 50 or 60 teams there this weekend.
Probably.
It's gonna be big.
Yeah. Probably. Well, I hope Michael does good.
We'll see. He does better in the big fields, it seems like.
So last night, what did you do? You had a fantasy football pre-draft party?
It was the lottery pick.
Okay.
So in fantasy football, the way we do it, depending on where you finished last year, you get so many numbers in the draw to see where you're going to pick this year. And that's how it was. So if you finish first, you got like 12 balls in the little lottery machine and so forth all the way down to the last place team got one. And we always try to do that several weeks before the draft because we want to know, we can kind of plan our draft strategy, who you're going to pick, where you're going to, or who's going to pick where. You can do mock drafts or whatever. We're football nerds. So.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and it's a reason for us to get together, me to get to cook something for my buddies, and that's what we did last night.
And so you did a steak dinner.
I did.
Because it was only, not everybody can make the pre-draft.
There was 8 of us. 8 of us, including you, 9.
I made 9, yeah.
We did, I went to the butcher and got me some ribeye steaks cut, 1.5 inches. They were some good steaks, too.
They were massive. They were huge. Yeah.
They were good. They weren't like contest size. Those were thick steaks. And I knew that I wanted, since I was cooking, I got 10 of them. Yeah. They weren't that big. I mean, it was an 18, 20 ounce ribeye. I mean, it was a good size not bone out, you know.
It was, what'd you say, thick. 1.5 inches thick?
I asked for 1.5 inches. Some of them might have been pushing 2. But, so I knew I was cooking 10 of them that I wasn't just going to grill them like, you know, hot and fast or whatever, like we do a steak contest. I wanted to reverse sear them so I could nail the doneness in all 10 of them. And it, you know, it kind of speeds up that cooking process. It takes a little longer because it took it. I think I ran the Memphis wood fire grill, seasoned them, put them all on there, and run it at 225. And I kind of watched the internal temp. When they got to about 118, 120, I took them off and let them rest a few minutes while, you know, I was getting the charcoal grill hot. I put some royal oak inside my PK 360 and got it screaming hot because I wanted to take them to about, you know, 125-ish, little medium rare to, a little medium rare to medium right in there. On the charcoal grill.
Your final doneness.
Yeah, final doneness. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So that was the plan. I got my grill hot, you know, had them all on the pellet grill, got my coals ready. What kind
of pellets were you running?
They were just hickory. It wasn't anything fancy. I had some hickory barbecuers, light hickory pellets, and I threw in there just to get some smoke flavor on them. And cooking at 225, you pick up pretty good bit of smoke flavor in a ribeye at that time. I mean, it tastes different than just grilling it. And so the reverse sear on a thick steak's the way to go. It really keeps you from messing it up, and the steaks, evenness all the way through from, you know, outside edge to outside edge. You don't get that gray area and then some done this where you want it and then more gray because you cooked it really hot. On a thick steak, you know, that's a challenge on a charcoal grill. Yeah. You got to do 2-zone fire or something like that.
Or have a raised rack or something
like that. Yeah, you can still do the same thing, kind of cook it the same way. But it works out great if you're doing a lot of steaks and you're cooking big steaks. And so everything was going great. Then all of a sudden I heard a little rumbling and I was like, uh-oh.
And you checked the weather.
Yeah, no chance of rain. No chance.
Because I was like, do I need to water my plants this afternoon? Will you check the weather?
I was like, yeah, you got the water. It's hot, man. 90-something degrees. They're going to die.
It was overcast. I was like, will you check the weather? See what? And you were like, no rain.
None inside. Well, man, that damn weather.com app they've changed it. Like, I don't know if they think they're making it better. It sucks now. I wish they'd go back to the old version. But anyway, so it starts thundering. The wind starts blowing. Next thing I know, it's like deadliest catch out there. Wind's blowing in. I mean, they couldn't have made a better movie set with me cooking in wind and rain and storm. And I'm up under my cooking awning, you know. This is where my counters are, my cookers and all that. And I'm up in the corner, tucked up in there. Got the Memphis grill close as I can up in the corner, and I pulled the PK over there right beside it. And then you come out there, you need any help? I'm out there drowning, you know, trying to grill these steaks off.
And the thing is, it was coming like normally. The way it's set up, it's like the house catches the wind and stuff.
It blocks wind, it blocks rain.
It was blowing straight up in there.
It was coming out of the northwest sideways. It was like somebody had put one of them big fan boats, like you take a swamp tour in our pool and just turned it on and it was just blasting me. And I'm soaked. I mean, soaked to the bone. I've got the steaks, you know, they're trying to keep some of them warm on the pellet grill. Got others in a pan with foil on it. I'm out there just... Got my phone running timer. It's soaked. And she said, is there anything I can do? I said, yeah, bring me a beer. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to at least have me a cold drink.
I finally got the big umbrella and like kind of propped it up. It was all I could do to hold it up there to the, you know, where the counter is.
I appreciate you staying out there. You stayed with me while and then this whole thing only took 20 minutes, but it was in the middle.
Once you got them to that.
Yeah, once I got them up to temp, the searing part's easy, you know. But it does. I was timing them about 1.5 minutes, do my twist, 1.5 minutes, flip them, you know, walk them through the whole process, 10 steaks. And I can only do 2 at a time. But I got a little assembly line going where I put, you know, start 2 on the right, get them turned over, put the next 2 on. And the whole time I'm doing this and it's coming to monsoon. Thunder, you know, it's lightning and thunder. And,
it was bad.
Yeah.
So I thought today we would talk all about reverse sear.
It's to me, it's the best place for the reverse sear is when you're cooking thick steaks. I mean, if you got a thicker cut of meat, you're wanting to get it to desired doneness, and most time it's going to be a steak, whether it's, you know, ribeye or porterhouse or whatever, filet, it doesn't matter to cut. It really works well on thick cuts of steak. And it's because you can slowly watch that core temperature come up. And you can do it with a pellet grill like I did. You can do it on a 2-zone fire. You know, if you have a Weber grill and you want to put your coals over on one side and have you a cool zone on the other, you can start your steaks out over on the cool zone, put your thermometer in the thickest part of it. I try to shoot for like right in the center mass. And then you just kind of watch it come up. And depending on, you know, how hot your grill is, I like to keep it below 250 for the first stage because you're picking up smoke flavor and, you know, it's going to give it that.
And you want it to cook
slow. Yeah. I want it to cook slow. I want that core temperature to slowly come up. That's what's making it even across it. And then once it gets up to, you know, like 118, depending on how you want them. Like I like them more on the medium rare, you know, that end. So I'm stopping them about 118, 120, which is right below rare. And that way I know when I put my sear on them that it's going to be perfect. It's going to come in and it's going to be even all the way across. And
they were.
Oh yeah. The steaks I did yesterday were perfect. I was like, when I come back in soaked, a pan of steaks, covered in full, but there's water all in the full. I'd say, guys, I'm not responsible. You know, they started out great, but then it just went south. Yeah. So I didn't know if they were going to be overdone, underdone. I was walking them through and I had me a ThermoPen. Finally, I gave up. Once I saw how long it was taking the first couple of ones, I just ran them all through and got them off. I was just tired of being, you know, hosed down. I was tired of getting the hose again. But you know, and so by the time everybody made their plate, we all sat down and everybody cut into them. It was like, man, these were excellent. I mean, they were perfect. From side to side, perfect was just as pretty, medium rare as you wanted. They were juicy, had a really good flavor. I tried something a little different with those. I put some unseasoned meat tenderizer on them that I'd ordered off Amazon and let it set for about 10 minutes on each side. And then I rinsed it off under cool water and patted them dry. And then I seasoned them like I normally do with the AP and a little hot rub and a little steak rub and let them set on I did on each side like 15 minutes and then flipped it and seasoned the other side, let that set 15. And then that was just the come up to room temp, you know, time.
Yeah.
And they were really good. That meat tenderizer changed it. It made it the texture.
Very, very
texture
tender.
was excellent. I mean, it was a good cut of steak.
Excellent.
Those were Angus steaks. I got them at Kroger.
Certified?
No, they weren't certified. Just Kroger's. They weren't prime. They were Angus choice, but they were out of the butcher case. He cut them for me. It wasn't just like a package they had.
They looked really good.
I wish I could have gotten some certified Angus beef steaks like that. That'd be good. So but the meat tenderizer it changed it. I was just playing with it.
Did you trim them? Because you tied them.
I tied them just to keep them uniform. Just keep them from, you know, sometimes you'll cook a big steak and it doesn't want to spread out.
Yeah.
I like to tie them just to keep the shape right. Yeah, it's more of an appearance thing. But also, that meat tenderizer loosens them up. So, you know, they'll want to spread out. And I didn't leave it on there long enough to you know, break them down a lot. Yeah. It was just 10 minutes and then rinse. But
both sides?
Yeah, I seasoned both sides.
How heavy did you go?
Not heavy. About like I would AP or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't drenched in it. If I had to guess per steak, there's probably a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half on each steak.
But that got rinsed off.
Yeah, and they got rinsed off. It was just to start that process of breaking it down, loosening it up a little bit. And it did. If you've never done that, I suggest giving it a try.
One thing I will say, when I've played with it in the past, sometimes it can make the meat a little more salty if you season it as normal. But those weren't at all.
No, I did pull back a little bit on AP.
I mean, I could have used a touch more AP on mine.
On yours, you wanted more salt. But I thought the flavor on them and the texture was really good.
The texture was excellent.
To be cooked in a rainstorm like that.
So I did some research before the podcast. Okay. So it's not just steaks, really. You could do pork chops.
Oh yeah,
with a reverse sear.
You could do. I do that with those pork tenderloins. The true tenderloin, I'll start them out low and slow. I do it with deer. A lot of times, deer tenderloin. Anything that you want to get to a desired temperature, like you're not cooking it well done. Pretty much does really good. I mean. Like say if I'm doing deer, I like it medium rare as well. I'll start it out, get some smoke on it, then
with your back straps and your loins.
Yeah. Even deer steaks, I do the same thing with it. Pork chops gets the same. A big, thick double cut pork chop. is excellent to reverse sear.
In fact, I think your Mojo pork chops,
chicken breast. I've done, I did reverse sear on chicken breast. Yeah. You start it over. And a lot of times I'll do that on the pellet grill because I want to get some good flavor on chicken breast, but you also want to get that grilled flavor too at the end. So you bring, and chicken breast needs to go to 165. So you can take it up to, I've found it taking about 150, something like that internal, and then taking it over to a charcoal grill. But a lot of times, say, if I'm just cooking on one grill, like my egg, for instance, I'll keep it low with the plate setter. And then when I get everything cooked to the core temperature I want, I'll put it in a pan, put full over it, set it to the side, and then take my grate off, pull the plate setter out, and then ramp my temp up. And then, within 5-10 minutes, you're back up. And the temp on the meat hasn't dropped that much. And then you're ready to sear it and cook it back to your final target temperature.
Yeah.
And that's a great way if you're cooking on a ceramic cooker like an egg or a Kong or, Vision or so any of these ceramic grills that are out there. You can definitely you don't have to do 2 zone in them. You just take that plate setter out. Now, if
you just need a good pair of gloves.
Yeah, if you're cooking on a regular charcoal grill, go 2 zone. And it works the same way.
You can also do like flat irons, skirt steaks, tri-tips.
Tri-tips are excellent reverse seared. It's a great way to nail anything you want to nail a perfect temperature on, even from tip to top. It's a thicker cut. Reverse sear is the way to go. So it's hard to do with a thin cut.
That's what I was going to ask. Can you do a reverse sear with a thin cut?
I mean, you could, but it's
pointless.
Because say if I went 225 with say a 16-ounce ribeye or something that's only about 1 inch to 1.25 inches, it's only going to be in there 15 minutes or so, 15, 20 minutes tops, and it's already going to be up over to rare most of the time, and then to sear it, chances are you're going before you can get those grill marks, you've already went too far.
Yeah.
So with those, a steak like that, it's like an anti-reverse sear. I'll sear them first and then move them over and watch them come up. And you could do that. That's another way to do it too. Like I did that tomahawk steak.
I had that on there. So what do you call that? Is it a reverse
it's
sear?
No, it's just a sear and then a bring up slow.
Yeah.
Just with a 2 zone. So,
with your tomahawk, you did it on one grill. You used the PK360.
And I had it over on the side, and I brushed it the whole time, so it was still in that 2 zone environment.
Well, you seared it.
I probably wouldn't move it. I don't know how. I've never tried sear it first and then put it on a pellet grill. I don't know if you're gaining anything from that. Now, I guess if you were doing a bunch of tomahawks and you wanted to just run them through the sear and get them over there and bring them up, that's fine too. Because a lot of that technique's really a indoor cooking technique where chefs will take a cast iron skillet. They'll sear the steaks or whatever meat they're cooking, get that crust, that Maillard reaction on it, and then they'll stick that whole thing in an oven and bring the temp up like that in an oven. So it's basically that same technique. You're just doing a grill to do it. So
yeah. With that tomahawk recipe, you seared it first, which I think you get better looking grill marks when you sear first.
Yeah, you probably. Maybe so, because you're getting some browning reaction during that reverse sear part. It's changing the outside of the meat. I'll say they're a little darker when I do a reverse sear because they've already changed some, and by the time I get my grill marks on them, I guess it depends on what.
Maybe it's the contrast.
Yeah, depending on what you put on it, seasoning wise too.
Yeah, there's a lot more other things that go into the. But you seared it up, and then you put it on a raised rack, and you put a pan underneath that acted like a heat sink, but also you were catching the drippings.
And using that.
Do you remember you put butter and olive oil and garlic cloves and rosemary and thyme in there?
And then brush that over the top. That was awesome.
That was genius.
You were like, really good.
What do you think about doing this? Like, it was right before you were, fixing to do it. You decided to throw that in the mix, and man,
it made it good.
Yeah, and then we had that sauce. We kind of saved it and used it almost like a steak dipping sauce. Yeah.
Well, the deal is when you're cooking a steak like that, it's fine for doing one, but when you're doing a bunch of them, man, you're gonna have to have a heck of a grill to be able to catch the drippings like that and have a raised rack to do all that. That'd be tough.
Yeah, yeah. But if you were doing two ribeyes, you could do it.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah. That would be a great way. Fillets would be great like that. I hadn't done that. I need to do that.
Yeah, someone last night was like, "Well, how do I do this if I only have one grill?"
Well, you got to get your raised rack, and your grill has to have enough area to have.
So what if you only have a pellet?
Pellet grill.
You don't get very good sear on a pellet grill anyway.
You can with grill grates and jack the temp up. That's what, if I was doing it on a pellet grill, I would probably just, if that's all the grill I had, it'd be reverse sear all the way. I'd start it out, thinner cuts of steak, you might as well just crank it up and cook them.
Yeah.
But I did that ribeye the other day.
Yeah. But we're just talking about just
a thick cut of steak.
Yeah.
Do a reverse sear on it. And then you're probably...
No, but how do you do that on a pellet grill? How do you do a reverse sear on a pellet grill if that's all you got?
Start it out at 225 and then take the steaks off and then ramp it up. Turn it at 500, hot as it'll go. It'll be there in about 10 minutes and let it fly. And then put those steaks back on and sear them.
Does the rest...
If you got grill grates, it's great to throw those on there. I mean, you can do it without them. Even some of the pellet grills, like my Memphis grill, for example, has a little perforated insert that you pop. You can pop the Traeger. The Yoder has one too. You pull the little fire pot door off or whatever, and you pop this other one in, and it gives you more access to direct flame.
Yeah,
and it lets you sear right over it.
Yeah,
so. But if it doesn't, just crank it up as high as you can get it. If you have grill grates, throw them in there. You don't have to have a full set, just enough to sear how many steaks you're doing on, and sear them like that. Because you just want to get the core temperature up, hold them for a little bit. And then put them on the sear and finish them off.
So does the hold affect it at all?
It's going to slow it. It just helps it, gives you time to get your grill hot, and it lets it calm down, let some of those juices go back into it. Your core temp's already gotten up there, and it's going to make it to where it cooks even all the way across. And that's the main thing. But if you'll notice in that tomahawk video, doing a sear, and then moving it over, you nail the times, but it's not as even a cook as it is if you do a reverse sear.
That is true, yeah.
Because you still see some of that gray, where it's been high heat and it's really cooked it hard,
Yeah. So, well, that's what gives you the better grill marks probably too.
Yeah. I don't know if they're better. I mean, it's just, you can still get the same kind of grill marks on it.
What I'm asking is, let's say you're cooking on a pellet grill, you do it at low temps till you get where you want it. When you pull that steak off and let it rest and then recook it, to do your sear once it gets up to temp, is that rest and then recook it?
Well, it's not like cooling off very far. I mean, I've never left the thermometer in it, but it's not you're not losing. It's not going back down to like 100 degrees. Yeah. It's not falling that far.
Well, that's how you cook a steak on the beefer.
Oh yeah, same way. You're cooking residual heat with it, but it's kind of the same.
You start off, then you pull it off, let it come up to
let the core temp stabilize, and you put it back in there and sear it back off. Same kind of technique.
Yeah.
Because you're hammering it with the heat, and it's trying to, it's putting all that on the outside of it, and it's got to stabilize.
So how long did it take to cook those steaks with a reverse sear?
All 10 of them, it was probably under an hour.
Under an hour.
Yeah. I mean, they come up to temp within about, I'd say 45 minutes, 45 minutes. And then by the time I seared all 10 of them, because that part was probably, each steak was probably on there 5 to 6 minutes before running them through the little process. So. Yeah. So it was less than an hour for all 10. Yeah.
That was really a smart way to cook that many steaks.
Well, I mean, to me, it's better than trying to say, okay, I've got my buddies coming, I can cook 2 at a time, or fire up multiple grills and try to, do all that. It's easier.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking. I knew I was going to get good flavor. I knew I could nail every one of them, be cooked the same. I didn't ask them, do you want rare? Do you want medium?
Yeah, you didn't take
orders. I cooked them the way I wanted to eat them. And that's how we had them. But they all turned out great.
Oh, everybody ate their entire massive steak.
I did.
Except I don't think I didn't.
We had some fat. There was fat left over, and I think Austin took it for his dogs.
By the time I was the last one to sit down at the table. By the time I sat down, Barry had already completely finished his whole steak. I was like, you want another one?
There was time to move on to the bourbon at that point. Because our fantasy football team is ribs and whiskey. So we didn't have ribs. Well, we kind of had ribs. We had ribeye. Ribeye and whiskey.
What y'all decide to do for the draft? Just ribs a bunch of ways? Is that what you said?
No, I think I'm going to do Texas barbecue.
Okay.
Brisket, burn ends. I'll probably do some Texas style. You got to have some Texas style ribs. Do some salt and pepper ribs, spare ribs. I may do just whole,
the
slabs.
Big whole. Yeah. I like those. I like the knuckles.
And then, of course, we'll have whiskey.
So you feel like you get a better doneness doing a reverse sear?
It's
with the steak that thick.
I don't know about with a thick steak. you can nail it tip to tip, across that whole steak, and it cooks perfect.
Do you think it takes away from the grilled flavor doing it that way?
No, it just adds another flavor to it. So you get the smoker element to me.
Yeah.
And, if I was doing it on a separate grill, like the egg or just a 2-zone fire on a Weber or PK or something, I would throw a little wood in there to give it some, smoke element. I think you can pick up a little more on it, It doesn't taste like a steakhouse steak. It tastes like something that it's been smoked a little bit.
Yeah.
So I like it. I personally like it. You don't want to eat them like that every time, but it's really a good way to cook a thick steak.
Could you do a reverse sear on a drum smoker? Can you grill on the drum? You could do the smoke part.
See, if your drum, if it has different grate levels, or either you can raise like mine, I have that Big Papa kit on the trailer. Well, I can, use a hook, pull my fire basket up to the top, set it up there, and then put my grate there, put grill grates on it. It's a grill essentially at that point. So it's real easy to do that. There's guys using those pit barrels in contests too, to SEA contests to cook steaks. So
the pit barrel juniors. Yeah.
You can definitely do it.
Do you think it's easier to cook?
The reverse sear? Yeah, it's pretty easy. It really is. It's an easy way to cook a big steak. It's easier than, grilling a thick steak is a challenge because the outside wants to get way done.
How would you do it if you had to grill, grill?
I do like I did at Tomahawk. Have me a 2-zone fire and move it over and then, move it over or up away from it. That's the only way you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you see these guys do those caveman steaks. I've never tried one.
I'd like for you to try
one. But I wondered how, because, they just throw it on the coals and then they flip it and throw it on the coals. Well, I've never seen one that looked like it was perfectly cooked because you're just hammering the outside of it.
Yeah. I mean, is the outside okay to eat?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, does it taste good though?
I don't know. I never tried it.
I'm curious. I'm very, very curious.
Think I need to do that experiment?
Yes.
Caveman style?
Yes. Just to see.
I can do it.
I mean, how do you get even coverage? Because coals aren't,
What I've seen them do is they'll use lump charcoal.
Yeah.
Or either burn wood down and get a good hot fire.
So you're talking
I've seen them take a blow dryer and blow the ash off. Oh, yeah. It's glowing.
Yeah.
And then the steak's going right on it. And then after 2 or 3 minutes, I'm guessing, depending on the thickness of your steak, flip it over, do the other side. Raise it up, knock anything off that's stuck on it, and throw it on a plate and eat it. Caveman. We're going to do it.
Okay, I want to try it.
Yeah.
I'm curious. But you don't get even coverage.
I mean, it's making contact.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's not,
everywhere. But a grate is level.
Yeah, yeah. But, you got to think there's places on that grate where nothing touches it.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
And that's, that's what I've seen people argue, steak purists, that the best way to cook that steak is on cast iron skillet because of maximum searing capability. It browns it, does its whole thing across the whole surface of the meat. Well, when you use grill grates, it's pretty. It looks good, but you're not doing it justice by if you really want a maximum seared piece of meat. Now, to me, I like them both. Tomato. They're both good.
Yeah.
I like a good cast iron steak.
Yeah, there's something to be said about a great cast iron steak.
I don't think it's better. I don't know if it's necessarily better.
You're not going to beat the charcoal flavor to me.
Yeah, the grill flavor is where it's at.
Yeah, we've had that conversation before. But I do like a good crusty steak, cast iron style.
Roost Chris. Well, I call it a Roost Chris steak. Well, they cook them in 1800 degrees and it's in the iron skillet thing and it comes out. The butter's the best part of it.
The butter's the best part, yeah. That's what I was talking to somebody last night. I'm not that crazy about Ruth's Chris steaks. And they said I have a hard time arguing about any steak brought to me on a plate of butter.
Yeah, that's true. It's good. It's just different.
Yeah.
Would I take a charcoal grilled steak? Yeah, I would.
So did you get the grill marks you wanted to?
Yeah, on the first few, before I threw the towel in, it was just like, screw it, I'm getting it over with. Let's go.
Does the rain affect the coals?
No.
The temp?
I mean, if I would have been out in it, I had some shelter, so it wasn't changing my grill temp. I don't know, man. I wasn't checking great temp. I had it open. I was running steaks through it, and I was getting blasted with the fire hose. It felt like, for real. I mean, that's what it was.
Extreme cooking.
Extreme.
Anything else you want to say about reverse sears?
No, it's just
all the questions I have.
It's a really great way to cook a steak, especially a thicker cut. So if you're, it's a lot safer way. You're not going to mess up. Usually
just a thicker cut.
Yeah, right? A thicker cut of meat, but especially steak. And most of the time, if you're buying a big thick steak, it's expensive because it weighs more. And, it's expensive cut of meat. You don't want to mess it up. So you know that if you put it on a grill and you start it out low and slow, you're watching those temps in it, and then you just put it over on a hot grill to finish it off till you're done. Man, you can't mess it up. It's really, really good. And if you want to get that butter going on it, just have that on your grill warm. And every time you're doing your sear marks on it, just brush it with that as you go through your flips and turns, and it'll give it that same flavor.
That's one thing we forgot about last night. Was
I didn't have time
butter.
to. I was not fighting the steak butter. It'd have made it better.
Yeah,
but I didn't do it.
And we served it with asparagus, which I cooked in the oven,
and a loaded potato casserole.
Yeah,
that was something new that you tried. It was awesome.
It was. I would make some modifications to that recipe.
I think twice baked. We were working on something new. It was like twice baked potatoes, but in casserole form.
Yeah. So basically, I was trying to make, instead of having to do 10 baked potatoes and have everybody kind of fix their own baked potato, I decided to try to make a casserole, take that same, concept and make casserole with it. So we boiled potatoes.
Yukon Golds.
They make the best mashed potatoes. Mashed them, butter, sour cream, cheese, chives, bacon.
Mm-hmm. Simple. Butter. And a lot of butter. Did you say butter?
It was a lot of butter.
And then you mix that up.
Yeah.
You top it with more cheese and more bacon. Cover it, put it in the oven. Take the cover off, finish it off, let the cheese really melt, and then put scallions green onion over the top.
Yes.
And then you scoop it out, and it's loaded baked potato, pretty much. Yeah.
My only problem with that recipe is I was following a Pioneer Woman recipe, and she baked her potatoes. I boiled my potatoes, and she added milk to her casserole, and I shouldn't have added the milk. I knew not to. I was like, I just don't think it needs it. So I added a little milk, and they were a little soupier than I wanted them to be.
Yeah.
But I think with boiling the potatoes, you get more moisture.
You're going to change it up?
So I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take that recipe and kind of modify it and make it my own.
There you go.
Then we did asparagus and then mushrooms.
The mushrooms are money.
The key to mushrooms.
What's the easiest? How do you do them? They're so simple.
You get you a big pot, butter,
like deep saute pan.
Deep saute, yeah. Butter, Worcestershire. I used red wine. You can use red wine vinegar. You just
balsamic
need
vinegar.
Balsamic vinegar. You need some acidic.
Red wine makes it. It really makes it. It cooks off all the alcohol. It's just red cooking wine. But you used a bottle you drink, just like Woodbridge or Merlot or something like that. Yeah, it was
a $5 bottle of wine.
yeah, nothing. I mean, something decent. You know, that you drink.
And you had diced some garlics for me.
Mm-hmm. That's all that was in it, right?
And then some salt and pepper. I used AP, not salt and pepper, and then you just put the mushrooms in there. You had bought some really big mushrooms. They're big daddy mushrooms.
That's what they had at Kroger. All the mushrooms are huge. They're just white. They call them button mushrooms. No, they're buttons, but they were big. They've been great for stuffing.
But I put it in there and just let it cook and let it cook and let it cook and let it cook. And just keep it low, let it simmer, because you want to have the mushrooms are going to let a lot of moisture go as they start cooking. But you want to have a lot of moisture in there and let it start reducing so it almost becomes a syrup.
Yeah, yeah. And
it sticks to the...
So it makes it almost like a steak sauce.
Yes.
And then, we serve it as a side dish, but it'd be great over the top of it.
Yeah. You could definitely run some steak through that sauce, yeah.
It was good.
Asparagus were super simple. Olive oil, AP, in an oven for...
Cut them, rinse them, dry them.
Yeah. Oven,
season them.
425 oven for 8 to 12 minutes.
That's all it is. Yep. And they're good.
Just don't and then bread and butter. Ones. Yeah.
Got to have the bread and butter. That's a great steak dinner.
We didn't do
it's
a
hard
dessert.
To mess it up. No, we didn't need a dessert.
Heck no. The dessert was the bourbon.
Bourbon tasting.
The cabinet's gotten a little full, so I set a lot of bourbons out, hoping to get rid of a few bottles, and somehow I ended up with an extra bottle at the end of the
Jameson.
night. Yeah, it was Jameson.
I think Jay brought it, yeah. I like Jameson. It's good. It's good for picklebacks. You ever had one of those?
I don't think I would like it.
Pickle juice and Jameson Irish whiskey.
I'll have to try it.
You have to try it.
Twist my arm.
If you ain't never tried a pickleback, you need to.
So what's a pickleback?
Shot of Jameson, shot of pickle juice.
What does it taste like?
Deliciousness. It really does.
I mean, does the pickle get rid of the heat, or does it mix?
I don't know why it's good. I just like pickle juice.
Yeah.
And actually, Justin told me about it. He's like, I think he was up in Boston, and he sent me a text. Said, "Man, you got to try this. It's called pickleback." This has been years ago. He's like, well, everybody's up here doing them. And I said, all right, Lo and behold, I liked it.
I saw them selling like pickleback juice.
Yeah.
In the cocktail section.
I buy it because I use it in Bloody Marys too. Mm-hmm. I really like it with Clausen pickle juice, though.
The good stuff.
I need a good briny pickle juice.
So no video this week. No video next week.
Yeah. We're going to crank it back up as soon as it cools off some and we'll quit traveling. I'm going back fishing next week too, so we're going to have a podcast. We do it. We're going to do it Tuesday.
You got a brand new cool toy you're going to try out.
Yeah, I got the ThermalWorks Bellows. It's
Billows. Is it Bellows or Billows?
Billows.
Bill.
Yeah, it's Billows.
Billows.
But anyway, it's their version of a pit control fan. It works with their signals. And they sent it to me, and I hadn't even had time to play with it. But I'm going to put it on the drum, and I don't know what I'm going to cook.
I bet it'll make the drum run like a machine.
Oh, yeah. It will. I use my Guru on it already.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to see if it runs as good as a Guru.
Is this ThermalWorks answer to a Guru, I guess?
Yeah. They're just getting in the pit control market.
Yeah.
Their stuff's always top-notch, so I expect it to fully function, well.
But I thought we might... Once you try it out and play with it a little bit, we might actually do a podcast all about
pit control devices or something.
And thermometers.
Yeah.
What you need, what to use them for.
That's a good topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got coming up. And I don't know what videos. I'll probably be doing some fish videos.
Yeah.
I get to go catch some. I mean, I got some.
We'll also be at Code 3.
Yeah. What's that town? Dadgummit. If I need to look it up. I looked it up the other day. Hurricane storm surge warnings. Man.
You might not be fishing next week.
I'll be upset. Bear with me because I'm fixing to look this up.
They are having a contest and a big event, and it benefits the local community and stuff. It's a great little contest.
Collinsville, Illinois.
It's in Collinsville, Illinois. It's the Code 3. It is
outside of St. Louis. So if you know the St. Louis area, I think they're across the river in Illinois, just a little northeast, I think.
It's called Smoking on Main.
Yep.
July 27th and 28th. You will be there.
I will be there on Saturday.
Doing meet and greet.
Yeah, we're just going to hang out, talk to folks. And
it is a steak contest, isn't it?
I think they're having...
And a barbecue contest.
Odds Lane and Johnny Rocket's going to be there too. And then the Graham Band on Sunday.
Who's Johnny Rocket?
I don't know. I'm excited to see him. They're going to have barbecue vendors from all over St. Louis. I bet the Sugar Fire
probably
will be there. That'd be cool. Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be on Main Street in Collinsville, Illinois.
It'll be a good
and
time.
If anybody's in that area, y'all come out and say hi. We're going to be walking around talking to all the teams and talking to anybody that wants to, say hi. I guess.
That'll let you talk to them.
That'll let me talk to them. I love talking barbecue. That's what we do. I'm not cooking in the contest.
Mm-mm. You contest out for a hot minute?
For a minute. It's vacation season.
Yeah. It's been a grueling couple of months.
Nah. We're recharged now.
We're going to hit it again in a few weeks.
That's right.
Hit it hard. What'd you tell somebody the other day? If you want to catch us, you got to do it in the months of July or January, February. Yeah.
That's right.
Because we work hard the rest of the time. But that's all I have.
All right. Well, you want to tell them where they can find us?
If you would like to connect with Malcolm, it is HowToBBQRight. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell, Instagram, Twitter.
Oh yeah, Swan Life's going with us to cook that SCA event. He's cooking on one of the new M grills. It's like a little ammo can with I'm excited to see how he does on it. It'll sit right here on the table. It's like you think an ammunition can.
Up right now.
But it's got a set of grill grates. Yeah. And he's going to be cooking on that this weekend. So I think he just got it yesterday. And he did a steak cooking in the rain at his house. He called me and asked me how mine went. And I said, yeah, went great. He said, yeah, mine did too.
So what is it? Like a tabletop grill?
Yeah, it's tabletop grill, no lid, and you can just sear on it. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll be able to talk about that next week.
So it's like you build a fire down below, and then your grate is directly above it, and this little ammo can.
You sear a steak on it. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited
very curious to see that in action.
But we'll see y'all next week, and we'll give you a report on how the Dwayne's Rib Liquor SCA contest
I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Dwayne does great work. So
y'all have a great week.
All right.